So welcome to the Tuesday at 10 Zoom meeting today. And we'll start out with updates about NAR and IAR and MIBOR. The biggest update that I have that is kind of a NAR thing. It's been announced what the law firms are asking for in compensation for winning for getting the settlement. So the settlement was $678 million, and the attorneys want a third of that money, or $220 million is what they want for litigating that. Now, here's the interesting part and the shocking part. Here's what some of these attorneys bill. Okay, so partners at Dirks Cameron, that was one of the law firms involved, typically charge around $1,250 per hour. Paralegals charge $300 per hour, and associates $600 an hour. Let that sink in for a minute. And there's a problem with what we earn as realtors. Here's another one. The Michael Ketchmark, the lead attorney for the Stitzer, Burnett, and Gibson lawsuits, charges $1,450 per hour and claims that he spent 7,000 hours on these lawsuits, 7,000 hours on these lawsuits. Mark Seltzer from Sussman Godfrey, he charges around $2,200 per hour and is the highest paid attorney in the class council. Wow. We need to be attorneys litigating class action lawsuits, I think. Wow. These guys earn a ton of money. Now, here's the justification. This is what they say is the reason they should be paid so much, is that they assume substantial risk while representing the settlement class. There was always a risk of no recovery. The defense attempted to get the case dismissed on several occasions. Policies like cooperative compensation, a practice where real estate agents share commission, were deeply embedded and had become the standard. The defendants were represented by a formidable lineup of attorneys and law firms, and there was no legal precedent to follow. So that's their justification for why they should be paid so much. The court will decide whether they should be paid that or not. But wow, what a massive amount of money earned by just a few people. And I would really question 7,000 hours being involved. That's a whole bunch of hours. I don't know if you divided that by 24. What is that? How many days is that?
That'd be 175 weeks if he worked 40 hours a week.
Yeah, that's 291 days. So I mean, it's just crazy. At any rate, that's the news on the lawsuit side. Now, there's additional news, and that is there's two lawsuits that have been filed in Chicago. The difference with these lawsuits is these were filed by buyers, and it's called Batten and Batten 2, and they are asking for nearly $1 trillion in damages. $1 trillion in damages. This lawsuit is to come to trial this year. At any rate, so it's not over. They also in part of their lawsuit, they're seeking to have the settlement overturned or stopped with NAR so that more money could be gotten from there as well. So just so you know, there's still lawsuits out there that are pending. The buyers in these lawsuits are, their claim is that house prices were unfairly inflated due to the commissions that were charged, that they had no hand in negotiating. So, you know, we all know that that's crazy, that houses sell for what they're worth, not for, we don't figure out what they're worth and then add commissions on top of that. But nonetheless, that's what the buyers think. So, so there's that. Now, MIBOR, just a reminder to you, your tech fees are due on October 1st.
my
Tech
board?
fees are due, so if you haven't already paid them, like I haven't, I pay them the day before. I don't let them have my money one day ahead. So
My
I
board?
received the notice, you haven't paid your fees yet. You said
My
something,
board?
Virginia?
My board, dude?
MIBOR, yes, the tech fee. The tech fee for the wonderful technology that they
When?
give us. Okay, so this is for the technology that they provided to us. The late fee of $20 will be assessed on October 2nd. On October 9th, if you have not paid by October 9th, your fee will be suspended, and it will cost $50, or your MIBOR access will be suspended. And it will cost you $50 to reinstate after the 9th. So if you haven't paid by the 9th, it'll cost you $50 to reinstate. So just so you know, don't go too far. I heartily endorse waiting till the last minute to pay, but don't wait too long and incur a fee for yourself. The other news from MIBOR is that they are really going to be tough on any effort to advertise commissions in the BLC or any other associated place that's associated with MIBOR. And they're talking about a $500 fee, just automatic. So if you get busted for advertising commissions in the BLC or any related thing, you're going to pay $500. So that's from MIBOR. Now, I did have got a question that I wanted to ask all of you, and that is, I got an email from MIBOR asking about unlicensed staff. And we've got Andrea Garcia works with Virginia, right, Virginia?
Yes, she does.
And Susan Baldwin works with the Hey Dad team. I know that. Does anyone know Emiro Vasamil? Villasamil?
He was my first assistant like a year and a half ago, and I registered him to
Okay.
have access to my board. The person who are, you can check on my board, they have been registered, which is Emiro, a long time ago, he's not working with me, and
Okay.
Andrea.
So he could be dropped then, right?
Yes, he can be dropped. Mhm.
Okay. All right. I didn't recognize that name, so I asked. Okay. So that's pretty much it from MIBOR. What questions do you have? What's going on out there? Do you have any questions in terms of things that you'd like to know, that you'd like to ask me about anything?
I want to ask you, I was a couple minutes late and you said something about the NAR. What did you say?
Oh, I was just talking about the attorneys in the lawsuit are demanding $220 million in fees, or 1/3 of the $678 million settlement. And they're justifying that based on all the hours that they put in. And these attorneys earn ungodly amounts of money, from the area of $1,250 an hour to $2,200 an hour. which is just outrageous amount of money if you stop and think about it. I don't think anybody's worth that kind of money. But they think they are and they get paid. So who am I to question that? They managed to get paid for that. Of course, they're saying that we're not worth what we get paid. So we don't get paid anywhere near that, do we? Don't
I
think.
we worth it. Everything that we do, there is a list.
No,
somewhere.
they're basically in the lawsuits basically saying, hey, we get paid way too much money.
What about when we show houses and we are under contract and then they say, you know what, I have two contracts when how you say they back out. One because her husband was deported. What can I do about that?
Yeah.
And we were in inspection and she said, no, I lost my money, my time, and everybody's time.
Yeah.
And the other one, I was depressed that week because the two happened the same week.
Yeah.
Usually I don't have those things. And they said they don't like the house because the house was all blah, 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 blah. And the house was in Avon. And Avon is almost an hour from my house. And I went to show the houses like 3 times. And the last time when I went to see the house, I left my bag in their car. So I have to go back the 4th time for nothing to get my bag. And then when they did mutual release, I fought for the money. One got the money. The other one didn't want the money because, where is my money there? I lost I will say 15,000.
Yeah.
That's my money. How do I feed my family? So people don't see that. People see
Oh, they
what
don't
we
see
get
that.
and
Yeah.
all the thing. But what about, I spend a lot of money in advertising and events,
Yeah.
and that's money. They don't see that.
They don't see that. That's right.
Maybe I need to make a video about that. See
Yeah.
everything that I spend, everything that I do behind when you don't see. All the phone calls that we do before I show a house, call
Yeah.
the realtor, call this, investigate. Sometimes they're easy, but sometimes it's a little more than that.
Yeah. 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 I think that it's resident upon us to do a job of educating people why we're worth what we make. And so um, uh, I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to educate your people. Any other questions?
I want to thank you for seeing my my live last week.
Oh, that was great. You
That
did
was
a
great,
great
right?
job.
Everybody saw that was in English. That's why I invited you guys. That was in English and talk about when I
Yeah.
came to the country, what I do, and I think that was pretty neat. And to hear, did you hear the other lady? The other lady who was talking a different.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing what she did and everything. I felt like this after I heard all her accomplishment and everything, but that was very nice.
Yeah. It was great. And you did a great job, Virginia. Great job with that.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go on and move on then. If there's no additional questions, I'm going to talk about marketing for success. Did anybody attend Gabrielle Jean's marketing webinar the other day?
No.
I'm not seeing anybody that attended. Well, I did. I took some notes, and like always, she has so much material. But this is just some notes that I took. So this is a quick summary of what I learned there. The first thing she talked about was developing a strong personal brand and how important that is. I can remember when I first got into real estate, one of the things that they told me at the Tucker Company was, don't be a secret agent. And that means you have to have some personal branding. And Gabrielle went on to say that no branding. So if you don't brand yourself, then you are branding yourself as someone who does nothing. So when you brand yourself, you're at least showing them that you're doing something. The question to ask yourself, what is your value proposition? What do you bring to the table that is important to buyers and sellers? Just unlocking doors for buyers doesn't hack it. So what is the value that you provide to a buyer? What is the value that you provide to a seller? And of course, our buyer consultation and our listing presentation is designed to talk about your value proposition, but you can expand on that just personally as well. And the next question is, what is your niche? What, you know, if you're just wide open to everything and you have no niche, it's probably going to be harder for you to brand yourself than if you, let's say you're the waterfront specialist on Morris Reservoir, or you're the waterfront specialist on Geist Reservoir, or you're the over 55 community specialist. Whatever it might be. Maybe you're the first time home buyer specialist. And so you have a system for specifically for working with first time home buyers. You've got resources specifically for first time home buyers. You're good at finding money for them for down payments and things of that sort. So what is your niche? You need to ask yourself that. If you don't have one, then how are you going to market yourself? How you're going to brand yourself without a niche. And when we talk about branding yourself, we're not talking about branding you as a person, but branding you as value. In other words, what do you do? Not that I look great or, you know, buy from me because I have a great picture, but buy from me because here's what I do for you. Here's what I can accomplish for you. You want to leverage social media in your marketing. So you want to post regularly. Consistency does matter, particularly in social media. Think about video marketing. You know, video is hot now, and YouTube is a great place for that. YouTube's one of the top search engines out there. It's number 2. And so YouTube's a great place to do videos. And the question is, do you have a YouTube channel? It's free. You can start a YouTube channel for free. In fact, you can start any number of YouTube channels for free. So do you have a YouTube channel? If you don't, start one. It's real easy to do. It's really easy to start a YouTube channel. And then if you post there on a regular basis and you optimize those videos that you're putting up there, you can pick up some business from there. If you have a YouTube channel, what's on it? What kind of things do you put on there? Just advertising houses probably is not going to get a lot of interest, but if you do restaurant reviews, or maybe you do reviews of great contractors, you know, Linda's had an experience here recently with a great contractor, right, Linda? Well, she's been posting on Facebook at least that there's a great contractor. So that'd be a great thing to do a video about, and then post on your YouTube channel as well, so that people have a reason to tune in to your channel. What about your website? How up to date is your website? Now, just because you have a KB Core website doesn't mean that it's up to date. When is the last time that you looked at your website, that you went and looked at it? Just pulled it up and had a look. Does your search function work? Have you tried to search for a home on your website? If somebody goes to your website, will the search function work? Can they use it? Do you know that yours does?
This worked better than the previous one. Even though I have it's another about the question about the app.
Okay.
Later. Interrupt you.
Okay. All right. So, you know, things break. So check. Technology is not perfect, as we all know. And so if you haven't checked your website for a while, you might want to check just to make sure it pulls up okay, and that all the links work and things of that sort, that you're on there. So you want to check that out. What about content on your website? Is it just the stock website with no additional content? Have you done any blogging? Have you added any videos? to your website. You can do, it's real easy to do blogs on there, real easy to do videos. So you might want to think about that as far as adding content to your website. If it's just a static website and no content ever gets added to it, it's never going to rank very high when people are searching online. And keep in mind that a lot of times people, even people you know, before they decide to work with you, they're probably going to look you up online and see what comes up. So look yourself up online, see what comes up. Look at your website. How does it look to somebody that is pulling up and trying to determine, is this a person that I should list my house with, or is this a person that I should work with as a buyer's agent? And you can use Chat GBT. I sent out a little video about using Chat GBT to transcribe notes from photographs. Really cool app.
It was good.
Huh?
It was good. Good information.
Yeah, great information. But you can use Chat GBT to write content for you too, for your website. So you could get Chat GBT to write a blog post for you, and then you just copy and paste that blog post on your website into the blog, and now you got a blog. You might want to add a photo. I think visual elements are always important rather than just all text. But you don't have to be a particularly good writer. You can use ChatGPT to write it for you. Now, make sure if you're using ChatGPT for anything, make sure you proofread and make sure you look at what you're getting out. Does it make sense? Because ChatGPT can be a little weird, but it can be very helpful too. So that's about your website. You can show your expertise, by letting people know that you're educating yourself, that you're taking a Realty World University class. Post that on Facebook that, hey, I'm taking this class. Why am I taking this class? To improve my skills and helping out buyers or sellers or whatever. So you demonstrate your expertise. Other webinars and YouTube channels that you might be monitoring. Again, it shows that you're increasing your expertise in the market more than just having gone through training one time when you got licensed and that's it. So continuing ed is important in that realm too. Become a lifelong learner. Read books, watch videos. Videos nowadays are great summaries of information. There's a lot of good people out there that you can watch. People like Tom Ferry. There's just a whole bunch of people that you could watch on videos that are good at teaching you information that might help you grow your business or help buyers and sellers more. Lead generation is important. And even though you're building a referral-based business, I think that's always the best kind of business to build, is a referral-based business. So does that mean you don't need any new leads? No, it means you do need new leads. You need to grow your database. And so you need leads to do that. You need to meet people. So ask yourself, how do you meet new people? Where do you meet new people? Those are important questions, because if you want to grow your database and grow your referral base, you need to meet people to add to that database. One good exercise is to analyze on a monthly basis. Okay, at the beginning of the month, I had this many contacts in my database. At the end of the month, I have this many. So I added X number of contacts during the month. If you didn't add any, then you didn't do any growing of your database. And so we know that databases over time tend to decline. People age out of your database, or people move to other states, or people have a friend that gets into real estate and they use that friend instead of you. So we know that over time, your database is going to decline. So if you're not feeding it and adding new people to the database, um, then it's going to decline over time. Meet new people. And then when you meet somebody new, when and how do you add them to your database? When do you do it? How do you do it?
Immediately.
That's important to understand and ask that question of yourself. And then when you add somebody to the database, classify them for follow-up. Are they an A or a B or a C? Or whatever classifications you want to come up with. ABC is the common way of classifying people, but there's lots of other ways that you could classify your database. You could drill down and form people into groups or and do campaigns for those specific groups. So for instance, you could drill down further. Instead of having just ABCs, you could have a D, which is maybe first-time home buyers, or F, which is people that are downsizing. And so if you run across a nice home that would appeal to a downsize market, then you send it to those people that are interested in downsizing. And it's a way for you to communicate with your database in a more useful fashion. If you send out things that first-time homebuyers are interested in to everybody in your database, then the homeowners, the more mature homeowners, and the people that are looking to downsize may look at that and say, "Well, I'm not interested in any of that. So why bother sending it to them and clogging up their inbox?" So classify your people and then market to them by their classification, and decide how often you're going to do that marketing, again by classification. And then community engagement is important. You can post about things going on in the community. If you're plugged in to different things, you can attend events that are going on in the community, and then you can post about it. Um, um, you know, question for you is, how are you involved in your community? Um, ways that you can get involved with your community is through Rotary, or Kiwanis, or Lions clubs, or church, Optimus clubs. There's lots of different organizations out there that could allow you to get involved. You can get involved in your community if you live in Fishers, just by signing up on the Fishers website for volunteer opportunities. And you'll get an email from the city of Fishers on an as needed basis. So whenever they needed a volunteer, they'll send out an email to you, and you can sign up right there on that email. There's a link. You just click on it. You can sign up and volunteer to be involved in your community. You can take most communities. I know Fishers does. I think some of the other communities do as well. Carmel. They offer Citizens Academy, where you can go in and you can learn about how the government works in your community. And as a result of that, you usually find ways that you can be involved in your community. So for instance, I went to a town government academy for the city of Fishers. And then as a result of that, of doing that, then I got assigned to a PUD committee for the development at 96 and Allisonville Road. And I got assigned as a council member for a road impact fee appeal board. And so I got assigned to that board to hear road impact fee appeals. And all of those things connect you to your community, and it enables you to meet new people that you can then plug into what you're doing. I don't do those things anymore for Fishers because I don't live in Fishers. I live in Indianapolis now. So I kind of hate that. I really liked my involvement in the Fishers community. Client testimonials, another good thing to do is, maybe do a post-closing survey of your people. There's free online survey software out there. You could send a a post-closing survey asking people to weigh in on what you did well or what maybe you didn't do well, and they could rate you on different aspects of the transaction. So and then ask them for a testimonial as well. And you can put those testimonials on your KV Core website. It's really easy to add testimonials on there. You can even, if you're using Zillow for testimonials, you can link your Zillow testimonials to your KV Core website. So if you get a testimonial there, then it automatically feeds to your website.
Do they need to?
Go ahead.
Do clients need to fill out the testimonial in the website?
No, you can just ask them to contact you direct with feedback, and then you add it to your website. It's not where you can send them something and then it automatically goes in the website.
Oh, I have. Okay, can I take them from?
Unless you're Zillow, if they go into Zillow and they give you a testimony on Zillow, you can connect that directly to your website. Of course, we really don't want our people going on Zillow, right? Because
I send them to Google.
Yeah.
Google my Google, and I do everything in Google. I don't do in Zillow, but I think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. You want to stay top of mind with people. Who do people think of first when they think of real estate? Do they think of you, or do they think of another friend that they have? You can offer free educational resources. You can do buyer, seller, investor seminars, and you could do them either on Zoom, which is free. Well, you might need a paid account depending on how many people you want and how long your seminar is going to be. But Zoom's a very inexpensive way of doing a seminar online. Or you could, we have conference rooms all over the city that are available to you at any Jaeger property. So you could do a buyer seminar out at Fort Bend, or you could do a buyer seminar up in Noblesville, or you could do one out in Danville or down in Greenwood. There are literally conference rooms all over the city that are available for you to reserve, and then you could invite people to come in and be involved in those seminars. You could team with other professionals, lenders or insurance professionals, to try to leverage their database as well. So instead of just inviting people you could then invite people that they know as well. And so it multiplies your database. So for instance, if you're doing a first-time home buyer seminar, you might want to have a lender there. You might want to have a insurance person there. And that would be a great way for you to leverage those other people. And you're all then benefiting from that type of thing. So those are the things that I picked up from the marketing webinar, or the webinar that I was on with Gabrielle. There's much more. I would encourage you to watch that webinar yourself and take your own notes. Those are the things that stood out to me as being important things, and a reminder to me that I need to do these things. Because as I look through this list, and as I was sitting in that webinar, I'm thinking, when's the last time that I did a blog on my website? When's the last time I did this or that? And so it's a good reminder of things that we need to do, that we need to keep in our arsenal of tools. So any other questions from you guys? We're 4 minutes over. I apologize for being over.